Good morning. Today we read Luke 9:37 to 43. The next day, when he had come down from the mountain, a great crowd met him. And behold, a man from the crowd cried out, "Teacher, I beg you to look at my son, for he is my only child. And behold, a spirit seizes him, and he suddenly cries out. It convulses him so that he foams at the mouth and shatters him and will hardly leave him. And I begged your disciples to cast it out, but they could not." Jesus answered, "O faithless and twisted generation, how long am I to be with you and bear with you? Bring your son here." While he was coming, the demon threw him to the ground and convulsed him. But Jesus rebuked the unclean spirit and healed the boy and gave him back to his father. And all were astonished at the majesty of God. So Jesus heals a boy with an unclean spirit, which is sometimes, and this is debated by biblical scholars, some of these healings do seem to be possession of by some sort of spirit. Others seem to be more like what we would call epilepsy, which is a neurological disease. Either way, Jesus heals this child. The interesting thing to me is when the father says, "I asked your disciples to heal him and they couldn't." And Jesus responds, "Oy vey, how long do I have to put up with these people? How long? How long? Bring your son here." He was exasperated, not with the man, but with his disciples, because he's been with him and he's taught them, and they should know by now. They just saw him in his glory on the mountain, and yet they can't. They can't do it. They don't know what to do. They can't. And Jesus is like, "Oh, gosh, Lord, how long do I have to put up with this?" And then he heals the boy, and everybody is astonished. I don't know why they're astonished. This is what Jesus does. This is what he is known for around and about the countryside, is healing people. And so he heals this child. That's not really anything striking, but I guess when you're standing there and seeing this convulsion and then seeing the boy just be healed, you would be astonished. And everybody's astonished at the power of God. Why should they be astonished at the majesty and power of God? I don't know, because God is powerful. God is majestic. God has the ability to do these things. So why wouldn't Jesus be able to channel this power of God and do this? But they're all surprised and astonished. And they're going to be marveling while he goes on to tell his disciples something important tomorrow. But so as you think about these disciples, think about, okay, they couldn't do it. Well, I suppose it's hard, especially your first time, if you don't really know what you're doing. And I suppose you got to give them a break, because they don't really understand what's going on or how to do it. They're just standing there, and the man comes up and says, "Heal my son." And they're like, "We've never been to medical school, and we don't know all this powerful stuff, and we don't know what to do." Or maybe they tried and nothing happened, and the boy still convulsed. And so either way, the disciples don't have the confidence, and they don't have the ability to bring healing. For us, that could mean we have the confidence and the ability to tell people that Jesus is here and Jesus will heal you. Don't know. Sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. I can't tell you how many hospital rooms I've been in where, before I leave, let me pray with you, and I say a prayer, and ask God to heal them, and nobody ever leaps out of bed with their broken leg mended. they feel better about being there, and some of them live, most of them live, and some of them don't. Um, but I don't say to myself, "Oh, well, I wish they'd been healed. I should have prayed better." You pray the prayers and you trust God to do the rest. And sometimes God acts in ways that we hope for, and sometimes He doesn't. And that's how it is. That's what it is, and we just have to live with it. So in some sense, the disciples are like us, like that. They're just doing the best they can. And other sense, I think they're like, oh, what do we do now? So don't despair. Don't give up like those disciples seem to have done. Instead, trust God and act. Um, Wesley Baker was a colleague of mine for a while, and Wesley had vast experience in the church. And Wesley's benediction, he tended to quote from one of Paul's letters and say things like, um, pay no one evil for evil. I can't even remember. But do all these good things, heal the sick, and he would always toss in raise the dead. And the congregation would be stunned. And one time somebody asked him, why do you say raise the dead, Wesley? And he said, well, never hurts. Who knows? Somebody might do it. So, it couldn't hurt to try, right? It couldn't hurt to say the prayer. So take that with you for today. See what good it does you, and see if any of this makes any sense to you in your life. And we'll see you tomorrow.